Generic greetings and welcome back once again to Prison Architect, where in the previous episode we got some more prisoners. I'll pause it and get to those in a moment. We also increased our security facility by adding the CCTV monitor and the phone tap, and that means we can now see the murders and hear when the murders are planned, and actually more likely probably figure out when stuff's being ordered to be flung over the wall. If we go over to informants, we can see that actually nothing is currently scheduled. If the wall, well, there probably is, but we can't see it. If there's stuff that's going to be flung over the wall, we'll be able to see it from this mode. Now, in the previous episode, we also had a problem with the distribution of food, and it was to do with assignments from this top kitchen and canteen. We've removed the designation of both the kitchen and canteen, and everything is back to normal. In this episode, there's several things we could do, and there was some discussion regarding adding either the other yard here. I mean, obviously this is outdoors, and the one at the bottom, although looks to be outdoors, it's actually indoors. Changing this one to be the same thing, or doing the kitchen and canteen up the top here and finishing it off. However, I think there's more pressing matters, and it's to do with the budget. At the moment, we are receiving minus 1,680 generic units of currency, and we've got just over 20 grand. Now, in order to get more money, we could produce more license plates, we can do more parole, but we're pretty much maxed out on parole in the first place. We can do more shakedowns to find more contraband, which means we'll get more money. That is sort of what we expected when we started the series. That's why we haven't got these walls at least 10 away from the edge. If you do that, then no contraband can be flung over, whereas at the moment it's pretty much a free-for-all. So that is a bit of a problem. However, what I'm going to do is go over to our valuation here, and actually what we'll do is unpause it. There we go. And we're going to sell, and then sell the remaining shares that we have. So we now only own 50% of our prison. That's as far as we can go. We're going to go over to grant and decrease, and we now have no bank loans, which means that although we've only got 14,000 in the kitty, we have massively reduced our outgoings because of that bank loan there as well. It also means we can now go up to 250,000 for our bank loan as well, because our credit rating is maxed out. But what I wanted to do is to do a bit of a pass on both the bank loan, get that cleared out. Also do the same thing for the programs to see what we want and what we don't want. You can see the workshop safety induction, that has 20 interested and 19 finished, 8 passed, which is 42%. So people should be working in there, and you can see yes, that is actually the case. There's no point in expanding that, because if we check over on our max jobs 18, but only 6 qualified prisoners at the moment. So 2 of those prisoners that have passed have actually left, but at least they've been assigned there. The kitchen safety and hygiene, it says 11 interested, but I don't know if this other one's going to be run, and it does take 100 sessions, so I'm going to take that down. We're still going to run the carpentry apprenticeship because, quite frankly, I really want to produce these 10 superior beds, which will give us a nice chunk of change. The foundation education program we are still running, same as the general education program as well. If we have one person do that, we get a nice chunk of change. Pharmacological treatment of drug addiction is something we really can't turn off because, quite frankly, we have a lot of issues with that in the prison, mainly because stuff can be obviously flung over. The parole hearing we have maxed out, but it actually doesn't cost any money to do that anyway. Spiritual guidance, 27 in the queue, and we got not running at the moment, but when it is, apparently there's a lot of people in there. And then we also have behavioural therapy, which we're not running. And then what's this one over here? That's people doing the general education qualification. So that is the programs pretty much ran through and checked off. In terms of our deployment, I want to make sure that is staff only. It is staff only, but if I go to search someone, or talk to them rather, if we go to, where is it? It is in our intelligence and informants, we can see that we can talk to, say, Scott over here. They will be escorted to that security room even though it's closed off. But anyway, we're going to go over to our, where is it, informants. We can see that there are some traits over on the right hand side from some of these people, but nothing that's of any big concern. There's nobody assigned in this area, so I'm going to do that now. Let's go over to deployment and then assign guard. We're just going to assign them to that. I don't really want to assign more people to things because it is becoming a bit of an issue. You can see at the top there we have 38 guards. Out of them 38, we have 28 regular guards, and most of them are occupied. We do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 patrolling just in the cell areas, whether it be the standard cells or protective custody. We also have ones in here and down there, and yeah, I don't think we need them in there anymore. Let's remove those. So we're going to go over to deployment. It will be in patrols this time, and we're going to remove the deployment from both the chapel, from from the chapel and the classroom, because we already have line of sight to that, even though it was planned off to be schedule 1. To be this one here, then I think just removing it was probably the way to go. You can see there that we also have people assigned to each individual cell block, so yeah, that is a bit of a bit hungry when it comes to staffing. However, you also notice that 2 people overdosed when I went to free time there, and that's exactly why we have that, because when we don't have line of sight, it means that we can't see if there's any overdoses, and then it means that we don't get them and take them back and actually care for them. So that is a bit of an issue. There has been some discussion regarding the staffing of that, and maybe put dogs in there, and that's actually a great idea, but it's very, very prohibitive cost-wise, because it'll mean we need to get a lot more dogs, specifically 8 more dogs, or perhaps nearly up to 10. Just because of the way that the dogs and the staff both need to rest. So doing that would be a bit of an issue. The other option would be to maybe have line of sight in the cells via the cameras, but there's no real place to put them. So I think what we've got here is sort of the best of the worst, really. Also, stuff being flung in. Now, we knew that this was going to be the case. This is just something that can happen. Why is Tom actually damaged? I'm not too sure why there. Just checking to see if these want to be confidential informants, but they do not. Yeah, you can see stuff has been flung in there. This has been ordered to flung in. We knew this was going to happen. That's why we have the guard that we currently have. The only way to stop it is have the wall further than 10 away from the edge. But yeah, it's just not going to happen at this stage. Anyway, we are still undertaking this search, rather. So there are some traits, none of which I should be massively concerned with. Danger level is going down. What I want to do, actually, I want to go over to our policy and change our meal quantity to medium. The variety is the one, apparently, that is to do with well-fed. And we want to give them more exercise, which is why we've got the weight benches now inside the yard. And we also have 2 hours of yard if we check our regime. He's got 2 hours of yard time, so hopefully they're exercising quite well there. There's an overdose, but we've got them and take them back straight away over to our fairly new, although admittedly dirty, infirmary there. You can see danger level is going up. It's almost certainly because of the serious complaints. 35 serious complaints. Almost certainly to do with food. Yeah, there's some critical food needs there. And that'll be taken care of very, very shortly if we check the regime. In fact, in the next couple of hours there. There is finally our shakedown. And, oh, we have something kicking off down here. What's going on? 2 deaths today. Okay. Wow. It looks like Tim Bailey and who else? Dan Griffin have been murdered by who? It looks like them. Leander Shambles Hembley they currently got a hammer and are beating people up. They are fearless. Yeah, attack prisoner, murder and intoxication. Fearless. I wonder why they've kicked off. They do have a critical need for food, so maybe that is why. I'm going to go over to guard response and and bring some guards in here. And yeah, we've managed to stop that. But wow, that's something I did not expect. So yes, it was inside. It was inside here. And obviously that was to do with basically food. They have, or had, a screwdriver on them, as well as... well, a screwdriver on them, as well as a drill. Danger level's going down now because of eat time. So that is good. They should still get... yeah, well-fed is still being handed out, which is good. So... hopefully 1 eat time will be sufficient. There is a tunnel that we found there. That's very unlikely to be legitimate, and they didn't smell more than 1. So I'm not going to bother with doing too much there. We have now got 61 grand. And the reason for that is, looks like we have had 1 prisoner pass the general education course. Let's go over the programs. Yes. So, 2 interested / qualified, 4 finished, 1 passed with a 25% pass rate on there. And that means we have 20 grand to, we basically got 20 grand extra, which is excellent. Over to the grants, we have no more grants that we can get. There are 3 hidden grants, but I believe they are cell block D, E, and F. But 61,000 means that we can go up to the top here and we will expand. And this also means that we have to plan the walls and all sorts. So go walls, planning. This will be the exact same thing as we've got down the front there, but I am going to place in where the new walls will be, because obviously it's going to be pretty much a copy of what we see down here. So there'll be an entrance in there, there'll be entrances in there, and then we want an entrance there, and this will come down and basically run similar to this one here. But I also have to plan it off, so we'll do just that. This will go right across. I don't know if it starts from the bottom. I'm trying to think where the expansion took place. It should be there. So from the wall, wall to wall should be 39. So let me double check that. Bear in mind that we have to go along here by 2, then along there by 2, and then we'll cancel that. So 39 from there is correct. So I believe that's okay. In terms of the rooms, it's an internal 5. So from there, it's an internal 5, followed by a wall. Internal 5, followed by a wall. And then what have we got? We've got 2 buildings. It's internal 12 and internal 12. So 12 to there, wall. 12 to there, perfect. Okay, that seems to work. Over to objects, and then to dismantle object. We are going to dismantle all of these trees, and this should give us quite a bit of money. Speaking of trees, I know people have suggested that we go ahead and add a lot more. I say a lot more. Technically, it is more, but add some forestry. Yes, that is a good idea. What we're probably going to do is, once we've expanded up north here and got rid of all of these trees and such, and basically built this this mirrored over, although we won't necessarily have, we might have an extra chapel, but I don't think we'll have an extra classroom. I don't think that would be necessary. But once you've expanded up here, and we've got the extra solitary in, solitary, protective custody, the workshop, all of that sort of thing. We'll then expand to the left, probably, maybe, possibly, not sure yet. And that'll give us a massive area that we can build whatever we want. Now, my original intention was to build perhaps some death row, perhaps some high security rating area. It would obviously mean another compound like this there, which would be fine. And then at the top and bottom, we would have next to the workshop anyway, would have the forestry. But that's a futurist thing. Whether or not we get there, I don't know. At this stage, we are obviously just focusing on trying to get this bit up here done, so that's fine. You can see we have now got a fairly decent intake. We'll just double check to see if we've got some traits. We have one unknown trait there, but no traits that we can see that is sort of worrying. Now, the workers are going to go ahead and build all of this. We will have to put in the extra walls and all of that sort of thing. That'll be before we do anything else, really. I think we'll do that. We need to place in all of the extra doors that go in places, so yeah. It's important that we get that sorted. So let's go ahead and add in the staff door there, same on the other side, and I think it goes there as well. Let me just double check, and yep, that is pretty much the case. People have suggested that we put a door there as well. Actually, do we want one there? Placing one there would just slow them down, so actually I don't think we're going to do that. I think we'll leave that as is for now. We've also got a door there, which we won't need, but do we remove it? We probably will remove it. In terms of the centre, I know there's been some discussion as well regarding these guard pavilions, the corners, that we don't use them. That is correct. I don't really know whether I want to remove them completely or not, and that sounds like a bit of the old ultra-violence. Yes, it seems like Mark Christom, age 29, has been fighting there and is currently unconscious. Volatile, yeah. Escape attempt, attack prisoner, attacked staff, found drugs, found luxuries. Fair enough. Going over to our grading. Punishment 6, reform 4, security 1, health -2. So there we are. Daily cash flow is currently a little bit low, but I mean, once we've removed all of these trees and sell them, it will be actually pretty good. Obviously, these have to go to export, get put on the truck, and then head off. The focus, I think, at this stage would be to get these walls put in, once we've removed all of these trees, you understand. And then get more prisoners. Now, with the prisoners being up here, and the only food source at the moment being down here, that could be a bit of an issue. However, because of the way this currently works when it comes to our regime... What time is it, by the way? Sleep time. Oh, shakedown. Because of the way this currently works, I think it would be not too much of a problem if we... I'm just going to hire 4 more guards there. I don't think it'd be too much of a problem if we said, for example, leave this... Oh, there's a tunnel being detected. Only a tiny bit of a tunnel. Only a little bit of a tunnel. Remove tunnels. Remove all of that. And just check over there as well. Yeah, I don't think it's too much of a problem with them working anywhere in this facility and only being able to eat there, even if their place is over here. Simply because, if we check the regime, eat time is right near the end of the day, which means that they'll be either working or doing, like having free time. And free time, they'll be situated in the main bulk of the facility anyway, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. It looks like the food and sleep needs are being taken care of, even though we have altered the regime, so we only have 1 eat time, and well-fed should still be going about the place. Let me just double check on some of these prisoners here. You can see that their condition has been well-fed on that one. I'm just going randomly around these. Yes, there is well-fed there. We'll go down to this person here. They're in the kitchen, so they should be well-fed. Yes. So yeah, we do have this condition of well-fed on some of these, which is excellent. Some of them also have a tiny bit of knocked out, and I think there's other things there as well. I think you can also get exposed to the elements. That isn't there. There's a suppression effect, and that's probably because they've been in here. Let me just double check actually. Anyone here? Confidential informant, but nobody wants to be a confidential informant there. That is fine, I guess. So there we are. So it looks like the workers are cracking on over there. They are having to move a lot of these logs. At least they gather the logs up into a pile and then move the pile rather than having to shift them around. See, someone's OD'd there. Warren Cantlaw, prison number 9126817, and parole hearing. What's the reoffending rate? 63%, that's not going to happen. Punishment 10, reform 6, security 3, and then health really low. So yeah, they have 8 penalties of 2 active addictions and 4 penalties of 2 say they're intoxicated. So yeah, not great at all. Money, good, very good indeed. As you can see, we're getting a lot of money for the early release from the prisoner program from paroles. We're getting decent exports there, and also the rest of these to be removed. I was going to build this wall right now, but I'm waiting for them to remove all of the trees simply because it's a lot easier for them to navigate around the rest of it. In terms of... Ooh, was that a dog barking? It was, but I don't think it's too much of a problem. Yeah, in terms of stuff that's been brought in from the facility, look at all the stolen from. Where was that? Let's see. That was thrown in. All this is thrown in. People have mentioned putting a dog patrol all the way around the outside. I just don't think it would do anything. It's not going to stop it. So, dog patrols inside each of these cell blocks would be much, much better. That's a tunnel there. I don't trust that one. Don't believe that. It would be much, much better, but as I've said, it's also extremely cost prohibitive. Look at that, as soon as it goes night time, 2 overdoses straight away. But they're now out, and can do another shakedown. Do a shakedown pretty much every night. There's a tunnel straight away. Looks like it's been freshly dug. We'll go ahead and remove tunnels. I tend to remove all tunnels like that. It's easy. So you can see we're finding some stuff. Loads of mobile phones. Most of this will be flung over. This obviously doesn't find anything that you buy in the shop, like soap or books or magazines or anything like that, playing cards, etc. That's not what we're searching for here. This is stuff that we're classed as contraband, which there's 4 different types. You've got tools, weapons, drugs, and luxuries, I believe. Let me double check that one. Policy, it is, yes, weapons, tools, drugs, and luxuries. We've currently got it, so if you have weapons, tools, and drugs on yet, we search your cell and themselves, and we give them 2 hours of solitary. So we're quite tough on that one. For luxuries, though, we're not giving them any solitary, and the reason for that is there's so many things that there's so many problems with that, yeah, I don't really know what else we can do. If I give them solitary, we would never have them outside. I mean, we got nowhere near enough solitary if we had the luxuries there. We could say lockdown for 2 hours. That's not unreasonable, because that still gives a suppression effect. So maybe that's a way forward. I've put it on and we'll see what happens there. Looks like we are just about finishing off on the left-hand side for the remainder of these trees. They are set to dismantle, which is good. While they're doing that, then let's go over to white wall, and we're going to place the wall up and along and then down the other side as well, but only once they've removed these there. I am going to prioritize the building of that. We have a total of 10 workers, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem to finish this off. Although, look at that, 3 overdoses straight away. It's like they get their delivery and then boomf, you know, straight over the top. So anyway, could we buy back some of our shares? We could, and that would put us on 30 grand. I think it would be prudent at this stage to buy some shares back, just in case we need to sell some more later on, basically. Because obviously the more we spend on this, the more our shares are worth. So, white walls are going to go in. Like so. And there we are. They're saying overdosed, but I think they've already been brought back. Yeah, they have, yeah. Haven't done a shakedown tonight. Not going to do a shakedown tonight. It's going to slow things down too much. You can see we are double skimming this wall here. Double skinning it just makes it so we can then remove the other side. Because I want to remove that section and then all of these ones as well. So we can remove all of that. Like so. And that is set to staff only anyway. We shouldn't have any problems with people running out. You can also see that when it's removed, we do get this ground bit here. This is just not covered in snow. With it being snowing, -5, we'll surely be able to see some snow start to propagate and go on that as well. So that is the remainder of that done. Outer wall is not currently built, although they are getting there. They are getting there. So that should mean now, once they've got that little section done, which for some reason they're just... apparently it hasn't been ordered, so my fault. Once that's now removed, just waiting for them to go ahead and do that. In your own time. The chief is calling. We've just discovered that one of the teachers we bring in for the inmates classes has been smuggling in huge amounts of contraband. They've been fined, but the damage has been done at this point. So we've got a lot of contraband then, apparently, in the facility. So that's a bit of an issue. Also, look at the amount of overdoses straight away. So that wall's now done. So it means that we can remove these large jail doors. However, people have pointed out something very important, that we should have jail doors here like that, and probably on either side. The reason for that is as a security measure. We will lock these open, don't worry about that, these are going to be totally locked open, but it means that if one of these kicks off, we can then easily lock them open, and it means that, or lock them shut rather, and it means we've got a bit more security. And I think that is a very, very decent idea. So we'll lock all those open. That one's been done. Lock that open. That can be dismantled, because I think, yeah, we don't need that there. And just double checking, yes, it is double thickness all the way around. We haven't got any entrances at the bottom to go in here, like have a door there so that if they're patrolling they can go that way, but we don't have anyone patrolling anyway, so yeah, it doesn't really matter. This is set to fence, and quite frankly I think it's, I mean, we could change to a wall, but is there any point? I don't really think so. Locking open these bottom ones here, and there we go, that is fine. And also you can see that some prisoners are sort of hanging around there, and we might have the same problem that we had previously, where if something's been ordered to be flung in, but the wall is now moved, we could have some people dying in the cold. But, I mean, there's nothing much I can personally do about that. In fact, let's check. No. We have, that we know, 3.9 hours stuff being flung into there, but the reason it's flung into there is because if we check deployment, that was in staff only. Now it is, and there we go. So this isn't staff only, that isn't staff only. I mean, you can check what the stuff is by doing it like that. I still don't like the new assignment, the colour assignment. I just don't think it's as clear as the other one. But anyway, so that should now all be staff only, which is the case. That should be staff only, and that should be staff only. That is now fine. So we can run, if we go over to our direction others, along here and then across to there. And how far does that one go? It goes exactly to there. That's fine. So we're going to go over to our flooring here and concrete tiles. Concrete will go across like so. It'll go into this section here and along like that. And then is it just like a double walkway all the way around? I think it is just a double all the way along. So we'll do that. We'll set that along. And there we go. That is now set. And that is going all the way around here. And now it's just a case of cloning these cell blocks up to there. But I think that is enough building for now. Was something just moved off there? I don't know if it was. Yes, I think we will call it there for now once we've done tonight's shakedown, because we know for a fact that a lot of contraband has just been brought into the facility, and we need to do a shakedown before anything else. And that visitation, we've got someone stationed there. Do we need it? I don't think we do. I'm going to place some CCTV there and CCTV there, and we will remove people working in visitation. And there's also some fighting because someone has been discovered trying to escape. And then they were knocked out. So remove that. We haven't got taser rollout, but we have got body armor, I believe. Tasers, yes. Body armor, yes. Tasers go on armed guards, I believe. Oh, your armed guards carry it, yes. Rollout is for everybody. And then guard towers. We don't have a taser rollout or guard towers. We also don't have remote access. Not that we really need remote access at this stage. I'm going to go over to deployment, patrols, and remove that patrol and move that one there as well. Excellent. I thought we had someone assigned there. No, we don't. We're going to assign someone to the reception there. And there we are. So we've got CCTV in both of these areas. We're going to go ahead and connect those up. This is more CCTV monitors than we can currently look at in one go, but I don't think it's too much of a problem. In terms of stuff that we found, that's a lot of items, actually. That's a hell of a lot of items. I mean, this isn't just from now, like from this search, but we've got, what, 2 batons, a club, 3 shanks, a fork, 6 needles, 2 bottles of medicine, 10 pairs of scissors, 2 booze, 3 poisons, 3 packets of cigarettes, 9 cell phones, 3 lighters, a screwdriver, 3 bottles of drugs, 2 hammers, and 7 ropes. So all being nicked from the usual places. There we go. There's our shakedown finished. We have got some people coming in with no traits that we should be aware of. And there we go. There's a potential CI. We will, as always... what's that breeding for? Breeding chance is pretty low. We are going to... I was going to recruit them, but quite frankly, before I could do that, they've been released, and I now can't do that because... Brilliant. So there we are. We will leave it there for now. Next episode, we will go ahead and... I think... build some more cell blocks up here. We'll probably build 2 or 3 of them before then finishing off this kitchen and canteen. That'll give us a nice bit of money. And I wonder why Scott has been wandering over there. Place your bets now. Do they have any stuff on them? No, they don't. We are just being suspicious. May have just wanted a bit of free time wandering around here. Either way, I hope you have enjoyed the episode and the series thus far. Comments in the comments. Thanks very much for watching. Take care, and generic partings.